The Las Vegas Raiders and Tom Brady have just made a massive decision in finding the new GM of the team, and they ended up hiring former Buccaneers assistant GM John Spytek, a former teammate of Tom Brady back in Michigan, but more importantly, a crucial piece that brought Tom Brady to the Buccaneers and ended up helping win a Super Bowl in Brady's last season in the NFL. John Spytek has had 21 years of experience in the NFL, contributing to various different teams including the Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cleveland Browns, the Denver Broncos, and most notably, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, with his time as an assistant GM, he had a lot of different things to do, one being a college and a pro scout, which means he had to go through, look at who the teams would potentially be able to draft, who they wanted to draft, and who just makes sense for the team. But also, he was, in charge of free agent preparations. What free agents were out there? Would they fit the scheme? Would they be good locker room guys? This dude had so much to do with this Super Bowl. They won a couple of years ago with Tom Brady, and obviously Tom Brady said, this is the guy I can trust. He talks well with the players. He relates well. He's someone guys want to be around. And going to the Raiders, an organization who has struggled to find draft picks. Cleveland Farrell, Jonathan Abram, Damon Arnett, right? There's so many... Alex Leather, there's so many just bad picks that this team has went through, and I feel like this is a guy who can really change all of that. In fact, in 2021, the Buccaneers had 9 Pro Bowlers on their roster, and 8 of those players were drafted by John Spytek. And in this video, what I wanted to do specifically was look at the acquisitions he has made, look at the talent he has drafted, and see where they have ended up today. Now, the first player that I want to talk about is no other than Vita Vea, an absolute monster. Was drafted in the first round back in 2018, I believe 12th overall, but over his career has been one of the most dominant forces up the middle the NFL has seen in a long time. Not only is he a massive disruptor in terms of being able to stop the run, but has also shown signs of getting to the quarterback as well. Over his career, over 180 tackles, 30.5 sacks, 6 passes defended, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and has been highly regarded throughout his NFL career thus far, racking up 2 Pro Bowl seasons in 2021 and 2024, and obviously having that Super Bowl championship under his belt. Next on my list is no other than Chris Godwin. Has been a really good wide receiver thus far in the NFL. Currently is a free agent as well, which could be something to think about. But he was drafted in the 3rd round back in 2017, was the 84th pick overall. And again, we all know the Raiders just struggle finding talent, late in drafts, early in drafts. Over the last decade, there's not been a ton of home run picks. Now, I will say one thing, I feel like this past season, they had a really good draft. A lot of guys starting to pan out, but they needed to pair up a new coach with a new GM, and just didn't really make sense to keep Tom Telesco, who had a different vision from whoever the next coach is going to be. But again, Chris Godwin, a guy over his 8-year career with over 579 receptions, over 7,200 yards, 41 touchdowns, did have a season-ending ankle injury last season, but this is a guy who's been hyper-productive throughout his NFL career thus far, and another one of those guys you just want on your team. Another really good draft pick, Antoine Winfield Jr. He was selected in the 2nd round, 45th overall pick in the draft of 2020, and throughout his career thus far, he has been just a great presence in that 2nd and 3rd level. A guy who can not only play in the box, but can also play deep safety, can come back, blitz the quarterback. This dude has been doing everything you'd want as a player, right? Right here, playing in the box, number 31 to the top of your screen, and throughout his career has 444 tackles, 269 of those were solo, 17 sacks, 30 passes defended, 7 interceptions, 11 forced fumbles, and 9 fumble recoveries. Again, another player who just seems to be, thriving thus far in Tampa Bay, and I don't see that, going anywhere anytime soon. So again, I mean, we've only gone through 3 players and they all look like hits so far. Now, before we get any further into the video, do me a big favor, guys. Hit the like button if you want more of these Raiders breakdowns. I plan on covering the entirety of the offseason, which means free agency. Anyone you guys sign, we're going to actually go in-depth with film analysis, film breakdown, let you guys know who you got, what they add, and why I think they could be a good addition to the team for free agency, the draft, anyone you guys, pick up in the NFL draft. More film breakdown there, and then obviously any trades that take place, we got you guys covered there as well. But yeah, subscribe, it's free, it doesn't cost anything, and we will be breaking down Raiders film and analysis and everything you need to know throughout the entirety of not only the offseason, but next year, the regular season, preseason, minicamp, training camp, everything. We got you guys covered. Make sure you guys join the family. And real quickly, since we're getting towards the end of the video, I'm just going to show you a big list of a bunch of these players that he has drafted or signed in free agency that just made big time, additions to this Buccaneers team. And with that being said, let's just jump into it. Alright, so here's a list right here. We can literally see all of the players that he's really acquired in the draft since 2016. We got OJ Howard, who was a pretty good tight end there for a little bit, ended up panning out towards the end of his career. Chris Godwin has been amazing. Vita Vea has been great. I mean, Alex Kappa, Jordan Whitehead, Carlton Davis, DB out of Auburn, who is actually still playing good football with the Detroit Lions today. Sean Murphy-Bunting, Jamal Dean, another Auburn DB. Mike Edwards, I believe, was on the Chiefs for a little bit. Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield, Logan Hall. Bucky Irving looks like he's breaking out, man. That dude looks really good. Kate On looks like they're tight end of the future. Chancey. This dude's making plays. Just made a bunch of plays in the playoffs. Yaya Diaby. Trey Palmer's okay. But, man, this is a strong list of players. And I guarantee you, if we looked at some of the Raiders, picks from the last decade, they're nowhere near as good as what this list is. But more importantly, he's also been major factors in terms of free agency as well. Alright, and then let's finish it off with looking at some of his free agency signings that ended up being pretty good for them. Obviously, in 2020, he's the guy that primarily was responsible for getting him to Tampa Bay, getting Tom Brady there on a multi-year deal. Obviously, bringing in Rob Gronkowski out of retirement. Tom Brady, again, had a big part of that. Jason Pierre-Paul, hey, let me go try to get a championship. That's what he did. And Ndamukong Suh, same thing. Filled out the roster with some really good veterans that could help out the locker room and the team. Lead by example. They did that 2022. Russell Gage was all right. Leonard Fournette was all right. Giovanni Bernard, again, they're just trying to keep some things together and stay competitive, which they kind of did. Carlton Davis, really good corner, who they had to bring back for a couple years. 2023, they didn't really have too much cap space to do anything, but added some decent bench guys. But then 2024, Baker Mayfield has turned out to be such a gem for them, man. He looks so good this year. Mike Evans, bringing him back. A lot of people said, oh, he's too old. Man, he looks like top 5 wide receiver in the NFL once again. Jordan Whitehead, great to get him back on the team. I think that's something that they needed to do after letting him go the first time. Sterling Shepard actually played a big role with the team once Chris Godwin went down with an injury. So although you don't see, too many crazy names on here, I feel like he has done a really good job not overpaying, overspending on free agents. Maybe just a 1-year deal here, 1-year deal there, right? Nothing too crazy, doesn't overpay anyone. And I feel like Tom Brady wouldn't go out and get this guy if he thought he was a bad addition to the team. And I really do believe John Spytek will ultimately be a very good addition to this Raiders team that now needs to find a head coach. Comment down below in the comments, who do you think they should hire as their new head coach? Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.